Hi viewers, welcome to See the Stories. Now, stunting has been defined as having low height for a certain age.
Yes, caused by chronic malnutrition, the condition remains a significant public health issue in Indonesia and Southeast Asia.
As of 2022, the prevalence of stunting among Indonesian children under 5 years old was reportedly at 24.4%, down from previous years, but still significantly above the WHO thresholds of 20%. The stunting rates have shown some fluctuation over the years.
For instance, in 2007, the prevalence was 36.8%. By 2019, it had decreased to 27.67%. Southeast Asia has a stunting prevalence of approximately 27.4%, making it the second highest among Asian sub-regions, following South Asia. Yes, now to delve more into the topic, joining us today is the Strategy, Risk, Innovation and Evidence Director of Wahana Visi Indonesia, Dr. Chandra Wijaya. Doc, thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
Very nice to be here.
Yes. Now,
Yes,
Doc,
nice
we're
to meet
both
you.
parents, so we have plenty of questions for you. I hope you are ready.
Big one.
Now, Doc, stunting is related to nutrition and non-governmental organizations that have been helping government in tackling this issue. Now, according to your organization's overview, what are the main nutrition issues Indonesia is facing today?
Well, nowadays, Indonesia is facing triple burden of malnutrition. The first two, undernutrition and micronutrient deficiency, are prominent for decades. And recently, there is an increasing trend of obesity. So it's kind of like a complex problem that we face. And all of these have an immediate cause of inadequate of food intake, balanced nutrition food, and also the disease, especially for the children. And underlying of them, there would be access to food, the feeding practice, and also the health services for the children. And it caused by the family income, the social norm, and also the good governance of the government and also the industrial. So many factors.
Many factors, right?
Yeah.
No, but before you mentioned obesity, I didn't realize that Indonesia is actually, are we in that category of one of the nations that are actually obese or no? I'm just curious right now to find out.
Increasing from around from the Indonesia Health Survey 2018, it's around 20% something, and it's increasing in 2023. So perhaps not a big problem now, but it's increasing if
we don't want it to go up even more, right?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Now, all right, so a child's ideal nutritional status is highly dependent on the parent's ability to provide a balanced intake. And it's not easy to, provide a balanced intake. So what is your take on nutritional literacy among Indonesian parents? Do you think they're educated enough?
Yeah, since we are a child-focused organization and we work across 18 provinces in Indonesia, it's around 83 districts and cities and more than 900 villages, especially in the eastern part of Indonesia.
Wow.
We observe a nutrition literacy and also practice among the family, the caregivers. And we saw that most of them are increasing their knowledge, but still not in optimum one. So we have like last year, the survey led by the children across 30 provinces in Indonesia. With the sample of the adolescent children around 15 years, and we found that more than 20% of them acknowledge that they don't have the enough nutrition education and information that they need for them to have a nutrition status well. And if we consider this as a next generation,
Yeah.
we're afraid that they will become the parents that do not know the
Right.
education status and information, and will also give the next generation that still have a nutrition problem. So we have to cut this cycle.
So,
Right,
so that's where Wahana Visi Indonesia comes in,
That's where
right?
you
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's-
As a partner of the government,
Yeah.
and we work also with the corporates and also the local CSOs and the community. We work together
Yeah.
how to tackle this issue together.
Okay, good to have you then. So now we talked about factors that contributing into stunting, and you also talked about what parents can do or what they can actually learn to make sure they do the same to their children and or the next generation. Now, what areas does WVI, which is Wahana Visi Indonesia, what areas does Wahana Visi Indonesia focus on in nutrition education, and what are the considerations in selecting these areas?
We focus on the growth monitoring and promotion. Growth monitoring is one important factors to screen whether the under 5 children has been in the normal phase of the growth status.
Yeah.
And if not, we can take an intervention like the counseling of the infant and young child feeding practice, for example, or refer it to the health facilities if they need the rehabilitation. And with this growth monitoring and promotion, we hope that more mothers, fathers, as a parents and caregivers have knowledge on the nutrition, the balanced nutrition food for their children, and can provide the food
Yeah.
for them so they can grow in the normal stage.
Yeah, because one of the major factors would be uneducated, right? But this way, they will have trainings and all the workshops, or maybe
Exactly.
like that, so they get more educated.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only educate them and counsel them, we also work with the community
Oh.
to have a livelihood activities like small poultry
Yeah.
and then nutritious garden. And the most important thing, last year, we have been granted by the Indonesian SDGs Action Award on the innovation in Asmat, Papua, to have a floating garden, in the swamp area of the
Yeah.
Asmat,
Right.
Yeah.
where people, it's very hard to plant the vegetables and the plants. So the community, assisted by our organization and also work with the local government, tried the innovation to plant the garden in the floating of the swamp.
Wow. Yeah.
And they did it. And we brought these good practices
Yeah.
to Jakarta, and they are very happy. And we are glad that more people can put attention to the
Yeah.
eastern part of Indonesia,
Yeah.
like Papua also.
So Wahana Visi Indonesia are giving options, and to make sure that there are no excuses on
There you
not giving nutritious food to your kids, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because, natural foods in Indonesia is everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The fish, chicken, eggs.
Yeah.
You don't have to, eat certain food that we do not have in surround us.
True.
We can just access the available food, the
Yeah.
seasonal food,
Yeah.
as long as we know that there are 4 things that we need in our diet.
Okay.
Animal source protein, beans, carbohydrate for our energy, and also vegetable and fruits.
Right.
Mentioning about the child-led research that we conduct last year, we also saw that still many of the children do not have breakfast, do not
Okay.
have the nutrition balanced food.
Yeah.
Apart from they do not know about the nutrition information, the practice was also aligned with that. It's around 6,000, almost 7,000 children participate in this survey. And
Wow, the children participated.
yeah,
The parents also.
not only participate, they lead.
Oh.
They lead the research. We assist
Okay.
them to do the
Right.
research, and they did it. We are so proud of them.
Oh, wow, okay. So, Doc, you were explaining to us that educating the parents are one of the things to make sure that stunting is not going to continue on. Now, what are the biggest challenges in addressing nutrition issues here in Indonesia?
So many factors. First of all, if we put the framework of the children, family, community, and the system, all of these layers have their own challenges.
Yeah.
In children themselves, how they can have a good nutrition food they can intake. And it's really depend on the parents' knowledge and behavior.
Yeah.
But it's not only their responsibility, how the community support them with, like support, how the community support the pregnant mothers and the lactating mothers,
Yeah.
the husband, the mother-in-law, and so on. And also the system, how the system can have not only, policy to support the, for example, the breastfeeding, but also enough budget for supporting this nutrition program. So every layer has its own challenge.
So what kind of programs are there to make sure that the community helps all these families?
We implement a kind of a social accountability approach in the community where we empower the community to understand their rights, they understand their obligation, and try to communicate with the health service provider, the government, in a very harmonious dialogue to determine the problems and how they can tackle the problem together.
Yeah.
It's including how to put the program of the nutrition education and support the children for the nutrition in the policy and also in the budget.
Yeah.
So we can work together with the community, not only directly in implementing the program, but also advocating the government.
Yeah, well, the things about moms or new moms, we need support system is very important. So not only from our close family, but if the community can help, that would be great, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, Doc, we still have more questions for you. But for now, we're going to take a short break. See, the stories will continue after the break. And we're still going to talk about NGO's role in stunting prevention. Don't go anywhere.